You know, on Yom Kippur, we have to pray to ask God to forgive us for the things that we did wrong. And there are many, many ways to pray. And this story is just about one. There was once a simple shepherd who just didn't know much about Hebrew or the Torah and learned things. He just knew that he loved the world and he loved God. And he used to make up these prayers and send them up to God to show how grateful he was for the world. Like, for instance, once he was looking after a sheep and he just suddenly got overwhelmed with this gratitude and how much he loved the sheep. And he said, "Oh God, thank you for sheep. If I could, I would get all the wool off their back and weave you this beautiful coat and put it over your shoulders and make you warm every day of your life." And then he would sing this little song. I'll teach it to you. I love you and everything you make. I love you and everything you make. It's a wonderful, wonderful world. Amen. Like another time, he was sitting on this moss and it was so soft and comfortable. He was just so grateful for the moss. And he said, "Oh God, thank you for moss. If I could, I'd gather all this moss and I'd make a great big footstool and put your feet on it and make you comfortable like you make me every day." And then he sang that little song. I love you and everything you make. I love you and everything you make. It's a wonderful, wonderful world. Amen. Another time he was sitting by the river and he just listened to the beautiful music that the river made, and it was so cool and refreshing, and he thought about the fish that he was going to catch for dinner, and then he said, "Oh God, thank you for fish. If I could, I'd catch these fish and cook you a meal and put it on a platter and serve it to you and give you nourishment like you give me every day." Now, he was just about to sing that song when a scholar came by. A scholar is a very learned man, someone who knows a lot. And he said to the shepherd, "What are you doing?" And the shepherd said, "I'm praying." And the scholar said to the shepherd, "Shepherd, that's not how you pray. You don't give God fish to eat. God made the fish. He doesn't eat." And the shepherd just felt terrible because all he wanted to do was to thank God. He didn't know he was praying in the wrong way. And when the scholar saw that he was so upset, he said, "Don't worry, I shall teach you. Now, say after me, Shema, Shema, Yisrael, Yisrael, Adonai, Adonai, Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad." And the scholar made him say it 4 or 5 times. And when he thought that he had really learned it, he said, "Now don't thank me. It was fine. It was a mitzvah." And off he went. And as soon as he went out of sight, the shepherd tried to remember the words. But you know how hard it is sometimes to remember those words. And he forgot every single one. And now he didn't even know how to pray because he was obviously doing it wrong, and everywhere he looked was so beautiful and so wonderful that he didn't even dare to look up because it just made him so grateful all the time that he wanted to pray, and he was praying the wrong way. So all he did was look at his feet and just occasionally look up and make sure his sheep were all right. And something that gave him so much pleasure only made him sad. Well, that night, the scholar was in bed and he had a dream. And in the dream, he heard a voice, and the voice said, "What have you done? You've taken the prayer of the shepherd. It was a prayer that was good and it was enough. It pleased the ears of God. It had wings and flew right up to heaven, straight to God's heart and ears. And now it's over because of you. You will find that shepherd tomorrow and you will tell him that his prayer is good and that it's enough. Well, the scholar couldn't sleep all night. Early in the morning he got up and he looked over the fields and the valleys looking for the shepherd, couldn't find him anywhere, and it was only that night as the sun was going down that he saw the shepherd up on the hill, and he ran up and he said, "Shepherd, shepherd, I've been looking for you all day. Your prayer is good. It's enough. You've taught me how to pray, not the other way round." That night, the shepherd lay down under the stars and he said, "Oh God, thank you for the beautiful black quilt that you cover us all with every night and embroider with little white dots. If I could, I would get a blanket, cover you up and kiss you goodnight." And the scholar and the shepherd sang together.